For years, we saw a man living the life everyone dreams of. Mansions, yachts, women, guns, endless parties. The king of Instagram. But behind all that excess was a much darker truth. Was he a millionaire? Or just a con man who fooled millions? This is the story of Dan Bilzerian, the man who tricked an entire generation with filters, credit cards, and a whole lot of ego. The man who turned Instagram into his personal stage, built a fake empire. We're not talking about just any influencer, but the one many considered the most interesting man in the world. He was the ultimate symbol of extreme masculinity, a character straight out of an action movie on steroids, a symbol of luxury and excess. But like in every good movie, the real plot was far more twisted. Origins: a childhood between privilege and shadows. Dan Bilzerian was born in Tampa, Florida, in 1980, the son of Paul Bilzerian, a corporate raider who, in the 1980s, became a multi-millionaire until he was accused of fraud. While Paul was building wealth, he was also building enemies. In 1991, he was convicted and ordered to pay back $62 million to the government. Dan grew up in a mansion, but also watched his father battle the justice system. His childhood was marked by easy money and the consequences of losing it. What would you learn if your father was a millionaire one day and a convicted felon the next? You learn money can buy a lot of things, but not always freedom. Teen years and first scandals. As a teenager, Dan was trouble. He was expelled from school for bringing a gun. He had multiple clashes with teachers and classmates. In interviews, he openly admits, "I didn't like being told what to do." After several issues, he joined the Navy SEAL training program, but didn't finish. Officially because of an injury, unofficially for bad conduct. Poker, the myth of his fortune. Dan claims his wealth came from winning millions in private poker games against rich opponents. He says that in one night alone, he made $10 million. He claims to have won over $50 million in total, but he never showed proof. He never appeared in official rankings or high-level tournaments. Experts called him a mediocre player with too much money to lose. Poker analysts believe he exaggerated his success to build a flashy story. And here's the question. If you can't prove your fortune, does it really exist? And you? Would you believe him without seeing the cards? The birth of the public persona. In the early 2010s, Instagram was exploding. Dan saw the opportunity, turned his life into a show. He posted pictures with military-grade weapons, supercars, yachts and private jets, women in bikinis, 24/7, in tropical paradises. His account looked like a mix of Hugh Hefner, Call of Duty, James Bond, and Rambo in Las Vegas. But behind every picture, there was production, a script, and a budget. The trick, what you don't see in the photos. The reality. The women were hired models. The houses, rented for up to $200,000 a month. The cars, leased. The jet fuel, billed to his company Ignite. Nothing was his. Everything was part of a setup, his own word to describe the staging. Ignite, the company funding the party. Ignite was presented as a premium CBD, cannabis, and vape brand, but in reality, it worked like his personal wallet. Among the marketing expenses, a $75,000 paintball field, mansion rentals for parties, contracts for high-profile models, private jets for personal trips. In 2019, Ignite lost $69 million. Dan's response? Uber loses money too. The lawsuit that exposed him. Curtis Heffernan, Ignite's president, was fired after refusing to approve senseless expenses. He sued the company, and that's when everything leaked. No property was under Dan's name. Everything was listed as Ignite assets. Even payroll included models as brand ambassadors. Ignite's logo was on everything, as if that made it tax deductible. Meanwhile, investors started pulling out, and guess who was behind it all? His father, Dan Bilzerian, a convicted fraudster who still owed $62 million to the government. He was banned from running public companies, yet secretly ran Ignite through thousands of emails. Ironically, he was the one who temporarily saved the company, cutting Dan's spending and delivering its first profitable quarter. But of course, it didn't last. Scandals that fed his fame. By 2014, Dan was known in certain circles, but that year his fame exploded, not because of an achievement, but because of a scandal. One night in a club, he punched a model. It was caught on camera. The news spread like wildfire. Everyone criticized him. Everyone was talking about him. The result? Thousands of new followers. Soon after, during a video shoot for his socials, Dan went further. He threw a woman off a roof into a pool. She didn't land well. She broke her foot. She sued him. And once again, Dan was in the news. While others would run from scandal, he embraced it. He began filming scenes with guns, explosions, luxury cars, bikini models, public fights, all designed to go viral. And every criticism was free publicity. Every crisis became fuel for his personal brand. The fall from star to ghost, 2020, silence on social media. Follower count dropping. Stock price down to 28 cents. SEC investigation for accounting fraud. Ignite was delisted from the stock exchange. The party was over. In his book, The Setup, Dan admits, setup is everything. Everything was planned. Every photo, every party, every image was a production, and the cost of living a lie always comes due. And you? Did you fall for the trap of the king of Instagram? If this story opened your eyes, don't stop here. Like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell. Because on Drakonomic, we keep exposing the truths they don't want you to know.